fortunate to live in Florida, where healthy, adequate shoreline vegetation protects our water quality, prevents erosion, affords valuable habitat for fish and wildlife, and creates a pleasant place for relaxation and enjoyment. The Orange County Environmental Protection Division launched the Living Lakeshores campaign to help preserve and restore the natural habitats around the county's lakes and waterways. Now, the goal of the campaign is to educate residents on the importance of native plants, reduce the use of pesticides and fertilizers, and encourage homeowners to adopt eco-friendly landscaping practices to support local wildlife and improve water quality. To discuss why this is important, I'm pleased to be joined today by Christian Vischer, Orange County Environmental Protection Division's Aquatic Plant Management Environmental Team Leader. That is a mouthful, and we're going to learn why that's important. Hi, Christian.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Why do we even need a campaign? You know, Florida is pristine, it's natural, there's vegetation everywhere. What's the whole point?
Well, I think it's kind of evident if you just kind of look around, or if you've been here for a little while, you see that there's quite a bit of development and expansion.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people are coming to Florida, and there's a lot of growth. And that pristine vegetation that you mentioned in those habitats, well, they do get impacted. And so the key to, you know, I guess,
making sure we protect it?
We want to protect it, and we want it to stay healthy, because if it's healthy, we are. And so we need to educate. And the key in all of this is just education. We want to educate our folks, help them understand some of these critical points of Florida habitats.
So let's go to class.
Okay.
What do we need to learn?
Well, we need to learn that Florida, being in a subtropical climate, has a lot of vegetation, and it grows quickly. Okay, and so for some folks it seems to get out of hand, but in reality that's normal because we are in Florida. And so we need to educate people how beneficial that vegetation is. We want clean water. Most people do, right? And so we want to be able to go and enjoy a lake. We want to go fishing in a lake, etc. Well, that vegetation is what helps keep the water quality up and keep that water clean. And the more plants you have, the less nutrients you have in the water. And nutrients, if you don't have plants, they're going to lead to an algae bloom, and you turn out with a lake that's pea green, and nobody wants
stagnant,
that. Right? Yeah, nobody wants that. So the way we look at it, the more native vegetation you have, the better, the cleaner the water. So we want to inform people and let them know that when they live on a lake, it's their responsibility to some extent to want to maintain that lake and help it stay healthy and thrive. It's for their benefit, and to do so, let the plants grow.
So where might we be making mistakes and not even know it? I mean, what do you and your team see?
Well, what we see a lot is I think it's the expectations that some have when they do move to Florida, and what they would like for their little oasis. They would like to have a nice, clear, sandy beach on a lake. They would like to have, a lot of times, a swimming pool, that the lake, that they can swim in. And that's just not how Florida works, not at all. And so...
well, how does it work?
Well, like I said, it just grows. Everything grows, and it grows crazily. I mean, there's a lot of plants and vegetation. So what we have to set up parameters for our residents to understand that you can't just remove all the vegetation. You have to, you have to manage it. You have to leave a certain percentage of vegetation on your shoreline.
Do most people even know that? Or do they think
Not
this
always.
is my little slice of heaven and I can do what I want to do with it?
Not always.
Okay. So what would you advise people to do? Those who are watching and go, I didn't know that.
Well, they definitely can reach out to EPD, and we can inform them on that. There's our website at www.ocfl.net/EPD. And there they can find all types of resources that help them understand where they're living and what actions they can do or not do to maintain a healthy lake environment.
Now, what would make you and your team happy if people started doing what?
That's hard to say. It would be
Well, number one, calling you to find out they're not doing something.
correct, you know, and yeah, maybe not, maybe asking for permission, you know, before just wiping everything out, because
Okay.
that happens quite often. That's something we deal with. We you know, that they're modifying their lakefront and they're removing all the vegetation, and a lot of folks, they do that, and we have to go back and have it replanted, etc. So for them to reach out to us to get to know what can be done first before actually
So don't
doing it.
ask for forgiveness, ask for permission.
Please,
first.
yes, please.
Okay.
Because sometimes they remove valuable native plants that are difficult to grow back, that
Okay.
are difficult to return.
So are we talking like these plants could disappear?
Probably not disappear, but it is, again, the type of plant that we're
Okay.
looking for. If you take away all the good native plants, you're leaving it open for exotic plants, and that can be
so
very
what's the
invasive.
difference?
So a native plant is one that is used to being here in Florida, living here in Florida, and there's a balance in the ecosystem. And those
Okay.
plants don't go crazy all the time. But then you take them out and it's going to get replaced by something that's exotic, that grows faster and very invasive, and has huge impacts on our economy and on simply appreciating the lakes anymore.
So number one, call the Environmental Protection Division of Orange County to find out what you can and you can't remove. And number two, respect what Mother Nature gave you.
That's right. You just accept Florida for what it is.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful, rich place where vegetation grows, and we have incredible ecosystems here, and we don't want to see them go to waste, because
I think that's a perfect last word.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful state. We want to keep it that way for generations to come.
the way I look at it and the way we want to look at it, a healthy environment leads to a healthy us. It leads to a healthy community.
You heard it here. Thank you, Christian.
My pleasure.
Florida is a beautiful place to live, but we have to help it stay that way. Thanks for joining us on Healthy Connections.